Welcome back, everyone, to Knights of Last Call. I'm your game master, Derek, joined by the fellow knights, Bob and Tim. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. So, if you guys haven't noticed, through our Instagram and the like, we've been sort of undergoing a studio retrofit. If you remember from our previous episode, we left our last studio and we had to get a new space that we've been sort of trying to build up to make it the best possible playing experience for everything that we have here in person. We've got a table vault, we've got our dwarven forge, we've got dice trays so that everyone can watch what we're doing. And we've been, Bob and Tim and the rest of the knights have been really, really helping out trying to build this studio up so that we can have, well, quite frankly, a pretty kick-ass gaming experience for ourselves, but also be able to share that with everybody at home. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Absolutely. And it can only get better with like and subscribe.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
That's right. This doesn't come cheap. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty stupid that I'm spending, this money that
we don't have a Patreon set up yet.
Yeah, no, we're not.
we have zero income.
We have no money. There's no monetization here. I'm sorry if an ad played for this because YouTube is now showing ads on everyone's channels. And I certainly would love to be able to make, a nickel every time, we did like 100, 300 views, maybe make 20, 40 cents a day. It'd be pretty sweet. But in the meantime, since we're paying for this studio, we're paying for all this equipment, why not announce who won our Pathfinder Pocket Core Rulebook? So this is our giveaway contest winner that we are going to announce.
I love giveaways.
I do.
I think they're so awesome.
They're fantastic.
You do every giveaway you can. So
I love giveaways.
So luckily,
I give away everything I can.
So luckily, we used a site, the YouTube random comment picker that we set up, and Tim went ahead and pulled a name out and put it here in the Discord channel. So I'm about to read off who won this Pocket Core Rulebook, and the winner is Hooded Man. Hooded Man.
Hooded Man.
Hooded Man.
Salutations.
Yeah, salutations, Hooded Man. Hooded Man looking forward to winning the Pocket Core Rulebook so he can start to play Pathfinder 2nd Edition with his girlfriend. So, or wife. Yep, his wife. So that's pretty awesome.
Love it. Yeah,
I love
great.
it.
A great comment too, and we'll contact you and then make sure you send us your information and we can send this over to you. And I hope it's awesome, and I hope to actually hear that it help that you guys ran a game or something. It sounds
absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I send us your contact information or we'll get a hold of you, Hooded Man.
I'd love to hear the story of your first session with your wife.
Yeah, right. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, who's the GM? Is it gonna, who's killing who?
Usually the person who owns the rule book is by default the person who usually becomes the GM. I know that
That's how Derek's been the GM for the last 20 plus years.
That's correct. Yeah. I had an older cousin who was going away and gave me his duffel bag full of Dungeons and Dragons books. So I had all the books. And so when all my friends got into D&D and like we met at the bus stop or whatever, it was like, oh man, I play D&D too. I have a player's handbook, and I was like, oh, I have a player's handbook too, and I'm like, I have 17 books, and they're like, oh, cool, you could be the dungeon master.
Yeah.
Could you run that for us?
Can you run that for us? So congratulations to Hooded Man, and if you did not win, I implore you to keep watching because we are going to continue to do a series of giveaways with. You know what? Screw it. We're doing a giveaway right now.
Oh,
all right.
Didn't even know that.
New giveaway. What do we want to give away?
Let's give away, since I'm here and I'm not usually on these special talks, let's give away the Arcane Spell Cards that Guldor has started using recently.
All right. Through the magic of editing, we now have the
Arcane Spell Cards of Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
And it's in the plastic wrap, so you know it's legit.
That's right.
And you use these
I
for
do.
Guldor.
Yes, I picked some up for Guldor, and I've been enjoying them quite a bit. Really streamlines my spell text, so I'm not spending a lot of time out of session doing it. So if you're busy like me, perhaps you have children, these are a great way to save yourself some upkeep time.
Yeah, I think, look, it's fiddly, right? All the cards and, it can take up a lot of space on your tabletop, and I understand that tabletop space is at a premium, but the fact is, Pathfinder 2nd Edition, well, maybe not for you, Bob, but for most people in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, There's a lot of complication. You got a lot of
Look,
spells.
I did that smart. I'm a new player.
And
I'm going to go smash
Right.
things.
Your most difficult challenge in a combat is, do I rage or do I rage?
Oh, I was actually going to say, did I remember deny advantage or not?
That's right.
Did I get flanked?
Did I include the temporary hit points I get every time I start my rage?
I have that all
I know
now.
you forget that a lot. But the spell cards are great because, this is true in 5th edition. This was true in 3rd edition, Pathfinder 1. It's true in Pathfinder 2nd edition. Spells are kind of wordy.
Yep.
There's a lot of text. It's hard to remember. And in Pathfinder 2nd edition, how many actions it takes, whether it has a material, somatic, verbal component,
all of its tags,
what the range is, all of its tags, traits. Sometimes spells are incapacitation trait. Sometimes they're not incapacitation trait.
For Phantasmal Killer, it's not incapacitation trait until they critical fail the first roll, and then it has an incap thing. So it's important to have the actual spell in front of you most of the time.
Right. So I think these are awesome, and they've created a whole line of them. Tim here has the Arcane Spell Cards, but we also have, there's Divine, there's Primal, there's ones just for focus spells, and I know they also came out with a deck for the new spells that got added in the Advanced Player's Guide.
Oh, excellent. I'll
They
pick
even
that
have
up.
a magic items one coming out soon, too.
Sweet.
That Paizo has.
Yeah, very cool. And, it can feel a little gamey to sit here with all these cards. But the fact is, it helps.
These ones are fantastic.
And quite frankly,
Yeah,
it's
so
also a game still. Like, it's fun.
That's true, right? And again, we've talked about this before. If you're playing Pathfinder 2nd edition, you're doing it because you want something that's a little bit more mechanical. You
You're
want
stepping up from D&D, guys.
Yeah,
Taking that step up.
I don't want to say step up.
We're doing a lot better than D&D. D&D, Pathfinder, yay!
It's a different experience.
It's a different experience, right? 5th edition, I think, has done a remarkable job for the hobby. It has brought in.
That's true.
I mean, to be fair,
It brought me in.
That's how you got involved, right?
I'll take back my point.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but the fact is that 5th edition was designed for an audience that either is new to the game, which it's great at, or really wants a super light touch. And that's not everybody. And after you play 5th edition for so many years, you might say, I want something that's a little bit more crunchy, a little bit more mechanical. Again, role-playing does not mean talking in a funny voice. Role-playing means I'm playing a character and choosing actions that are appropriate for that character's personality, background, and situations. It does not matter what game engine you are playing, whether it is GURPS, Dungeon World, Fate, 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, 4th edition Dungeons & Dragons, or Pathfinder 2nd edition. If you want to role play, you can role play.
That's right.
And that has nothing to do with it. But what does have to do with it is, when you're in a combat, do you want advantage, disadvantage, or do you instead want to have to,
stack frightened conditions,
flat-footed, right?
Yeah,
and work a little bit more as like a team sport. It's like some games have a lot more rules than others, and that doesn't necessarily make them a better game or a worse game. It just makes them a different game.
That's right.
And there are different role-playing games for everybody. So I think Pathfinder 2nd edition is a little bit more complicated, even for people who are used to the game. And so I think things like these arcane spell cards or the condition card that Bob was holding up earlier can go a long way towards alleviating. Now, if you remember from our giveaway video, we got a whole stack of these things. We got primal spell cards, arcane spell cards. We got the monster.
Right. So don't forget.
Yeah, we got the monster battle cards.
Bestiaries.
The bestiaries,
Yeah.
So those can help for me, that's a huge help as a GM. So we want to give away a bunch of these. We're going to start another giveaway right now. Like and subscribe, as always. And I want you to leave a comment below. Are you currently playing in or running a Pathfinder 2 game? Or are you just thinking about it? Are you playing other games? Or maybe you want to play a Pathfinder 2 game. You're not playing any RPG, but you haven't had an opportunity to get a group together. So are you actively playing Pathfinder 2nd edition? Or are you just thinking about it? Are you getting ready to?
And also, if you are watching, click the link tree that's in the description below, and you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram, because eventually we're going to be also doing giveaways on there as well for more specific stuff as well. And follow them just for our content. See our battle mats. See what we're talking about dice, which I get in arguments on dice on Twitter sometimes. But follow along.
I'm a more of a classic kind of dice guy. I like simple chess-6.
That's what I was saying on Twitter.
White numbers,
Yeah.
just black numbers, white numbers on a very clear, not, all these translucent, sparkly, glittering
I don't
dice.
like 'em.
This is what I'm talking about right here. This is the perfect die.
Yeah.
Flat, matte color, white number.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Right.
That's all it
Fantastic.
takes.
Well-
if this were a lighter color like white, I would expect black numbers, and
Yeah.
that's the only thing I would ever change about my dice.
I think what it really comes down to is, dice are definitely a mark of personal expression, right, and aesthetic. But it's like a craftsman in his workshop or her workshop. For me, it's a tool, and I don't care what the tool looks like. I need the tool to perform. And for me, performing dice means it's very visible under a variety of lighting conditions. I can read it. My fellow players can read it. My game master can read it. Everyone can read it very easily. There's no discrepancy,
Yeah. I remember when I got my metal dice from my Kickstarter, and I was super pumped because they looked super cool. And I rolled my dice, and I was like, hold on. I picked it up, and I'm looking at it going, 12.
I mean, unless you like to cheat a lot.
Yeah.
Then that's a good that's a good option.
Once I did that, I was like, I probably should have picked a different dice.
Yeah. Lots more giveaways because, we're doing this because I like the game. It doesn't get a lot of love, and I kind of want to bribe people into enjoying Pathfinder 2nd Edition and
Grow the community.
Yeah, grow the
That's
community.
right.
And I think that's important and that's cool. There's a lot of I know everyone's been talking about Glass Cannon. It's going to be switching to 2nd Edition Pathfinder. Cool. Awesome. I mean, I think that's great. It's going to bring more people into the game, into the hobby. I don't think that 2nd Edition Pathfinder is going to take over 5th Edition as the
Not at all.
de facto game. But I do think that there are plenty of people in 5th Edition who might be willing to try 2nd Edition Pathfinder if, let's say, I don't know, they got a free book
Or some arcane spell cards.
or some arcane spell cards.
They got to see more people like Glass Cannon, like Knights of Last Call, like some of these other content creators showing maybe a tweak on a different rule or whatever, and showing that Pathfinder 2 can be this fun game. And it brings me back to that one guy talking about why he left Pathfinder 2. And it's like, well, maybe there's things that you were missing that the Knights of Last Call found, or that Glass Cannon found, or whomever found, and that's going to excite a lot of other people to keep playing this amazing game.
Yeah, and there is just so much nuance to this game. You're learning everything all the time, even from random monster abilities that are just listed as ferocious on the card. And you're like, all right, well, I guess I have to go look up what ferocious is, to just the weird way that an incapacitation tag changes the game.
Correct.
Or a counteract with using the correct spell levels.
Yes.
There's so many
Yes.
weird, complex things that,
And
we're always going to be learning, and it makes it all the more fun for me.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things where it's like, it can be frustrating, but once you learn it, it gives you another element to master.
Mm-hmm.
And rules mastery in its own way is a way of really enjoying the game, because something that I think a lot of people complain about is that Pathfinder 2 is they say it's hard. And I think
It's
it is.
difficult.
I think it is hard. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's the Dark Souls of role playing games,
Right.
but it's kind of the Dark Souls of role playing games.
A little bit.
Where the game expects you. This game is balanced on the assumption that your players and your team are making not just okay decisions, but good or even great
Optimal.
decisions.
Yeah, I was
optimal
thinking
decisions.
optimal, yeah.
I mean, the most easiest one is to say that, the game is kind of balanced around the assumption that you start with an 18, right? It's very easy to have an 18 in your primary stat.
Yep.
And then it assumes that you are putting an ability boost into your primary, that you are going to have the best item potency crystal that you could, or item rune in your weapon as possible. And if you are more than a few points behind on those things, the game could be quite a slog.
That's right.
And that's to say nothing of the fact that things like status bonuses, status penalties, circumstance bonuses, circumstance penalties, through things like spells, flanking, aid, another. The game expects you to be doing those things. Not like, oh, you did it. Here's a convenient bonus. It's like, oh, you didn't do those things?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
yeah. Okay, you need an 18 to hit.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it can be brutal,
It absolutely can.
So if you don't learn, you're going to go play it and be like, oh, this game sucks.
Right.
And so putting time and focus into something can also make it more rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think when I do something right and I feel like I accomplished a task, or I've got this feat, I'm like, I remember how much work it took me to get to this point.
Yeah.
And it makes it much more rewarding. I'm level 8 now. This is pretty cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for Bob, this is like his first real character
That's
ever.
right.
I started with 5e. We played for, I think, 3 levels or 4 or 5
3 or
levels
4
maybe.
levels, yeah.
And then I switched into Pathfinder because I was like, I just wish I was a little more challenging, because I like math a little bit more and I want a little more stats. And we jumped into this, and I'm like, this is awesome. And now I'm level 8, and I'm like, yeah, what else can I do?
Well, and on that note, if you do want to see the level 8 Knights of Last Call continue their adventures, the studio is almost ready, and we are going to begin filming Chapter 3, the Hook Mountain Massacre, very, very shortly. So keep an eye out on the channel for new episodes. Episode 20 will be dropping soon, where the heroes are going to cross Varesia, head to Turtleback Ferry, and begin investigating the Kriegwood and the horrific giants and ogres that lay within as they continue their quest to prevent the rise of the Rune Lords. So, thank you again for joining. Remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below about what is your current Pathfinder 2 status. And as Tim pointed out there, you'll have your chance to win these Arcane Spell Cards. Same as before, we're going to run this for a week. And then next week, when we get together to film our new episode, we'll select the winner along with the rest of the Knights. Make sure to leave your comment. Make sure you leave your like and subscribe, and we'll certainly get that out to you next. Remember, too, Hooded Man, let us know. So
Congratulations, Hooded Man.
There you go.
Love it.
For the Knights of Last Call, including Matt and Nick, I'm your Game Master, Derek Melenda, saying thank you for joining us and welcome to the Knights of Last Call.